Hi, I'm back. The time is 10:14. It's still Thursday, March the 28th, 2019. This is a continuation of the other part that I was talking. I paused it, but I accidentally stopped the recording, so there's gonna be a split audio, but it's connected to the last one. Okay, the last one I was talking about, kind of like how I got by working at Whole Foods for the years that I did, and then what I started saying, I'm just doing a quick recap. So in case you hear this recording separate, we're out of order so that you know what the conversation is about. Because it was supposed to be a continuation of the other one, but the recording stopped. So, right. So at Whole Foods, like I stated in the other, audio, at Whole Foods, the majority of the employees are males. And they have a couple, they have a couple means two and several means many. So they have a few females working there, or a small cluster of females working there. But like I said, most of the employees there were males. And they were males around my age. So whenever a situation like that, happens, I use it to my advantage. And the situation, like I said, see, the male-female game, to me, it has no benefit to the male. See, it has no benefit at all. And some guys might not see it, or some guys see it, and like I said, we all have to participate in the game at least once. And the male-female game has no advantage for the male. I'm putting this out there, and I don't mean to offend the women. And I'm putting this out there, but there needs to be a reformatting of the legal marriage system. There has to be a reformation of the marriage system, because you guys need to make it easier to get divorced than what it takes to get married, right? Or you guys need to make it as easy as it is to get married. You guys need to make it as easy as it is to get divorced, all right? And that's a conversation for another video, another audio or recording, which will be the next one, all right? So I'll try to come back to it. All right, so this recording, I'm gonna take a guess, but I'm pretty sure it's not that off. Yeah, it's like recording 23. All right, if it's not recording 23, I'll correct it in the next one. I'll state the recording before that, right? So yeah, like at Whole Foods, I managed to work for 4 years, almost 5 years, by hiding with the guys, hiding with them, making sure that there was always a guy, around me, so that anytime there was a female, like I said, I know the way guys work, guys, in any situation at work, guys are always going to try to play the game, and that's the thing that, males, I don't know if you understand this. Maybe your dads didn't go over this with you, or maybe nobody knows about this. That's the only thing that I could think. But for the males, you're not supposed to be in competition with every male that you don't have any issue to try to mate, because that's the only reason why competition between the male and the male should exist. Other than that, there is no competition between the male and the male, right? And for females too, it's not just for males. For the females, it should work the same way. That's the thing that I'm trying to explain. Why there needs to be a reformation of the marriage and everything, because of that. Because as the society changes, then certain rules need to change. Because other than that, then they become obsolete and they become useless. They become useless in the current government. And even though it was benefiting, it no longer serves its purpose. So it needs to be reformatted, or it needs to be switched or changed somehow. Okay, and this is my suggestion, that pretty much now that everything, that I'm gonna sidetrack really quick. Okay, now that everything is becoming equal, for males and females, according to what they say. I don't know if that's what it is. Because like I said, that's what they say. That's what they say on TV and all that. But just because they say it does not make it so. Okay. So based on what they say, the reformation of women is happening right now. Women are getting their turn. They're getting their turn to to be the. I don't believe that. I don't believe that this is the first time that it's happening. To be honest with you, okay. I think if anything, this is the first time that they lost control of it, the situation where they're not gonna be able to hide it. And by what I mean by that is that they can't hide it because, the women literally overpopulate the males. And that's what I'm trying to explain. In that situation, that's how you could check it. That's what I'm trying to explain on that, right? So that's as much as I'm gonna sidetrack off of that, and later on in the next conversation, I'll try to get back into all that, right? So like I was saying, at Whole Foods, I managed to get by. I managed to get by sticking amongst the crowd, sticking around the guys, and so yeah, that's what I would do. I would do that concept that people do. I don't know if you ever heard of this concept. It applies to males and females. If you're a good-looking male, then you find yourself, a friend that's uglier than you because, you're not gonna take him as a competition. At least to yourself. Because that doesn't, just because you think that person's ugly doesn't mean that other people think that or unattractive. But like I said, it works for males and females. The thing that they do is that, they get somebody that's a little bit unattractive, so they could have him as a wingman, and then no matter what, they feel like it ups the game for them if they think that they're more good looking. So I would do that just opposite. So I would stick around. I would make sure that there was always a good looking guy that was more better looking than me, so that that way I didn't never have to take that issue, because any time that a situation happens, it could easily be, like I said, it could easily be distracted. It's kind of like you're throwing the bait at them, and they'll take it because they don't understand that's what's being done. So yeah, like a true fresh HPP. I tried that same concept, but it didn't work. It didn't work for me the same because, like I said earlier on, a true fresh HPP, the facility is a smaller facility, and for the ratio of people and facility space, it creates more close quarters, and just that by itself, it makes it more challenging because it's a small place. No matter how much I try to avoid, the females of the situation, it hits the point where they start to realize that that's what I'm doing. They start to realize that I'm avoiding them, and the reason why I do it is because, like, at work, like I said, I try to be fair, and I try to be nice and polite. And like I said, part of the way that I am is like I'm not gonna befriend people that I befriend. And if I have to, then I'll let go of that friendship, because that explains part of why I don't have any friends. Because some people use it as a trick. If it's not somebody that you would go for, and they use it as a trick, is to try to manipulate you. And if you're not careful with that, you allow it by accident. So something simple as that, like, and a quick example is Bertha, my ex-wife, that's what she started doing. Part of it was for her reason, part of it was for other reasons, and it's not just about the Warhawk stuff, because, like I said, the Warhawk stuff is not the only issue that's there with that. That's what that's what, like I said, that's what I'm focusing on, that, because everything that happened between that has to do with YouTube, the YouTube stuff, and my accounts, right? So that's the reason why I'm saying that. So like I was saying, I'm working there at True Fresh HPP. This is a smaller pace, and there's more females, and the ratio is not balanced to the point where the males outnumber the females. So then that makes it a little bit more complicated, because there's not that many males that I could hide amongst because of that. And that starts making it complicated for me, because then I have to start interacting with females, and because of the way that I think, then I act very, like, pretty much I'm gonna say, like, I don't know what's the best way of saying it, but all I'm saying is that it starts creating issues, right? It starts creating issues for many reasons, okay? Yeah, like I was saying, so then they start realizing that I'm avoiding, and like I was saying, I'm not gonna befriend people that I befriend just because they're their friends. If I don't like them for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be hate. But if I don't like the way they and if I don't like the way that they speak or the way that they talk, or the way that they, pretty much the way that they portray themselves to me, it doesn't mean that that's the way they are, but if the way that they portray themselves to me, it's not the way that, that pretty much that I'm into, I'm not gonna socialize with them. I'm gonna try to avoid it as much as possible. And the times that I don't, eventually it's gonna create an issue, because eventually they're gonna overstep their boundaries to the situation that is not the way they think. And once they do that, then they're gonna confront me in an issue, and that's what happens, right? That a lot of people, they don't know how to stay in their boundaries, and they start demanding stuff that is not there, and it's not there for them, and that's what happens. So I'm gonna talk about this now, and it's probably gonna make you hate me, but I'm not trying to get you to hate me. Okay, but if it does, then you understand why I struggle the way that I struggle. Okay, and the thing is that like I said, I play a fair game. I play a fair game. I play a respectful game, and I try to be nice. Right? So the thing that happens. See, I'm gonna separate the situations, but some of them overlap. Okay, and I'll tell you how they overlap. Okay, the thing that happens, let's say there's 10 females, and only 5 of them I find attractive, and the other 5 I don't find attractive, whether it's because of personal, preference, or because they're just not attractive. So then what happens is that if I try talking to the attractive females and I manage to talk to them and establish something, then because of that, I'm going to have to talk to the other females that I'm not attractive. And if I don't, then they're going to recognize the fact that they're going to recognize the fact that I'm not talking to them because I'm not attracted to them. And they're going to get their feelings hurt. And that's something that I try to avoid, because, at work, there should be no need for that, because you're just there to make your money and get out, And that's a situation that's a situation that I come across sometimes, that, there's females that I want to talk to because they're pretty and I'm attracted to them or whatever. But because I'm in a work situation, I'm not going to do it, because since they don't take it, pretty much this is the way it works, okay? I don't know if people know this. But this is the way it works. And people that don't play like this because they're playing it privately within the warehouse, right? And I'm pointing this out because some of them think they're being slick and some of them don't, okay? So the way this works, you know, you talking to any female inside a warehouse doesn't mean anything. Okay? You talking to any female within a warehouse, it doesn't mean anything. You know, it could mean the beginning of stuff, but for all you newbies that are listening to this, you know, hopefully you're over 18, you know, because a lot of the talk that I'm talking about is not appropriate for younger kids. You know, I'm not gonna say it's super explicit, but a lot of the conversation content is not, you know. Okay, so for all the newbies or all the people that are unaware of the situation, the way it works, you know, you're talking to somebody at work, okay? Within work, you're at work, okay? I talked about this. I don't know if I talked about this earlier on or if I just talked it out loud, but anytime that there's a camera involved, you're on a stage. You need to understand that. Anytime that there's a camera in your face or in the perimeter, you're not in real life. You're on a stage, and that's the way you guys start seeing it. So if you're on the stage, then that means that everything on that stage can be staged. And some of you are going to understand what I mean by that, and some of you are not. Okay. And I'll get you back to the conversation. Okay. This applies to males and females. And it applies to anybody that's not looking for that and is looking for friends. And I'm gonna show you right now what I mean. Any conversation that happens within work is work related. Okay? Believe it. I don't care if you get along with that guy, I don't care if you get along with that girl. Any conversation that happens within the work perimeters, don't trust it. Okay? Don't trust it because it's happening within work hours and it's happening on the company's time. So don't trust it. Okay? For any conversation that happens outside of the company, it's a little bit more for any guys and girls. Excuse me. They're trying to play the game. They don't know how to start it, but want to. I'm giving you some pointers. Any conversation that gets taken to outside, you know, it's more real. Okay? So if you're talking to that guy and you're talking to that girl, you know, I'm talking to both of you, male and female at the same time. If you're talking to the guy and you're talking to that girl, you know, I'm talking to male and female. I'm talking to both of you. I'm talking to the both, and I'm not talking to two people. I'm talking to universally to anybody that hears this conversation, males and females. This next part, I'm speaking it to both of you at the same time, you know. But you know, if you're gay, then whatever the equivalent of it, make the adjustment, make the conversation, make the conversion for the equation to make sense to you, to your personal situation, right? And for your personal situation, if you're gay, you know, the friendship one applies. Because no matter what, it's still the same concept, all right? And like I said, me using the gay term, I don't mean it as a offensive term, you know. You know, if you like guys, then you're gay. If you like girls, then you're a girl, then you're gay. If you're a guy and you like guys, then you're gay. If you like guys and girls, then you're bi. You know, if you have sexual relationships and you're bi with the guy, then you're gay. You know, in that way. But overall, you're titled bi because you're not strictly gay. And you're not. You guys understand what I mean, right? Okay. So, for the females and the males, you know, if you get the conversation to go outside, then you got something more real because you're outside. You know, no matter what, the male and the female are are putting themselves out there. Like literally, they're putting themselves out there to to pretty much to give the opportunity for you to know that it's not work related, right? For you to understand that it's not work related. See, but the only thing that see, the situation has to occur in a certain way, because certain ways are not that. See, if you guys are all taking off from work, there's a potential for that, but it's less because you guys are all heading out. It's different. Okay, and you guys are all heading in, but yeah, no matter what, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity to make something happen on your way out. Because since you guys are both heading in the same direction, which is away from the company, then you guys can make it so that you guys go away, on a date or something, whatever it is, it could be something stupid. It could be something stupid and something basic. And I'm telling you guys like I said, I'm telling you guys for the newbies, and for anybody that's not aware of the way this stuff works. See, the conversation doesn't happen for you outside. It just doesn't happen for you because, either nobody's interested, or everybody's playing the cheater game and they're playing it inside because they're paranoid and they know that if they go outside, they risk the chance of getting busted by whoever. Whether it's a female that gets picked up by her boyfriend or her husband or whatever, or whether it's a male that gets picked up by his girlfriend or his wife, so they won't take it outside no matter what. They're not ever going to take it outside because they risk that. And like I said, people that do that kind of stuff, they're not stupid on purpose. Certain times, certain stuff is done on purpose, but it's not by accident, right? And that's the thing that I'm trying to explain to the listeners of the situation. Okay, that's part of the situation. That's an explanation. Kind of like, that's more like a tip, like advice. Take it if you think it's true. Don't take it if you don't believe it. And maybe if you don't believe it, maybe you'll start seeing it. Okay, so like I was saying, at True Fresh HPP, I didn't have any issues like that, but it made it more complicated for me to pretty much make it not obvious that I'm trying to not talk to the females. So then eventually people start catching on. The ones that catch on first, the ones that catch on first are going to be the females, because the males are going to be thinking for a long time that I'm just trying to get at the girls, because that's the way it works. I don't know why it works like that for everybody. I don't know if it works like that for everybody, but that's the way it works. Okay, that's the way it works for me. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I'm being singled out on that, or it's not the way it works for some people, if it works for everybody, or I don't know. Okay, but that's part of it. Okay, so the first ones that usually figure it out in a situation like that are gonna be the females, because if they're the ones paying attention to the guys, they're gonna start seeing that I'm the only guy that's not talking to them, and then they're gonna start talking amongst each other to be like, hey, does that guy talk to you? And then I'll be like, oh no, he doesn't. And I'll be like, oh, why? He's like, I don't know. And right away they'll start thinking about stuff, and that's what happens to me, and and that creates issues that some of you are not gonna understand. So I'm not even gonna describe it, because that creates other issues for me that has to do with the males at work. And so okay, so I'm gonna talk about it a little bit, right? So what happens? Okay, this is what happens. This is the issues that it creates with the males, right? The issue that it creates with the males is that they don't believe that I'm not trying to pick up on them. They're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Every other guy here has tried to get at it, or every other guy here got some of it. Okay, that's the way they think it. All right, so then they start thinking to be like, oh no, this guy's just pretending. He's pretending. He's trying to fool us. He's trying to make us think that he's not interested. so that we let our guard down. But that's the thing. That's the thing that, I start laughing because I'm like, that is like they're making it seem like they were like I said, like I don't understand that concept because that's technically player hating. Like I said, I'm not into that. I'm not doing that. But that's what I see that they project. All right. So then it just makes me laugh because it's funny, and sometimes I have fun with it because like at True Fresh, at True Fresh HPP, I was a receiver, and like I said, they would try to like bombard me with a bunch of work, quick, and try to get me stuck. But like I said, I had already done that kind of work. That work was easy right there, and if anything, I would just since they're over there being macho and being all like tough with me, I would let them be, they're over there coming up to me like this and that, like you don't understand this because you're new and whatever. So I'll be like, all right, dude, you take care of it, and whatever, because it's stupid. It's stupid. I don't know if my mentality is wrong, but I think it's stupid, like the way that I don't know, man. It's just funny because what I started doing is that, like I said, I said that there was a pretty girl that was working there. There was a bunch of pretty girls that were working there, but one of the girls that I thought was really pretty, but like I said, she was short, like she was short in height. So that's not something that I'm gonna. Well, it's not something that I'm gonna attempt. Because like I said, just because it's something that I'm interested, it doesn't mean that I have a chance. But that's not what the point is. Like I said, there was this girl, and I mentioned her before, like I said, but Jennifer, if you hear this conversation, I thought you were hot, and, I'm not going to do anything about it because I'm not. But I'm just letting you know. Okay, so what happened is that, that girl started working there. She wasn't working there before. And she's pretty, she's pretty. Like, she's not, like, she's pretty, She's pretty, and for the guys that are into that, well, she's short, so, you guys get what I mean, right? And, so what happened is that, at the time that I started, they started putting me to receive the product, that girl showed up, that girl showed up working there, and, like I say, she's not ugly, so then all the, it's the fresh meat, it's the new product that's coming in, and I'm talking about the girl, I'm talking about the product. I'm talking the way they think it. Everybody, universally, males and females, not just one, right? So then what happened is that all the guys got stupid there, all the guys, they got stupid for that girl. So I allowed it. I'm like, okay, cool. See, they don't realize it, but I'm gonna benefit off of this. So then what I started doing is I started making my job easier. So then I started just doing the labor. I just started doing the work, the physical work, and I started letting them take care of all the paperwork, because them wanting to be around that girl meant them having to go into the office. So then the more that they wanted to be around that girl, the more that they kept taking the work. So the more that I let them, because like I said, whose dream is it to go to work, to do work? Like, if that's your dream, then maybe me and you have to have a serious talk about your goals and, and what's up with that, because, why are you going to sleep dreaming that you want to work a job, And maybe I could get you to think straight, because other than that, and I don't mean straight like in sexual orientation, but I mean to think right, because there's something wrong with that kind of thinking. Yeah, that's your dream. So then, like I let them I let them do all the I let them do all the I let them do all the work because they got stupid, and I started backing away from the receiving, even though I was technically still a receiver, because one male is over there trying to throw another male to a woman, So they're not gonna do that, because then they feel like they miss up on the opportunity. So they're not gonna do that. So that's how I know I could benefit off of that. So that's what I did, you know. And eventually I made my work easy. You know, eventually I made my work easy. And because they were taking over the paperwork, you know, I was leaving home on time. You know, I was going on time. See? But I'm guessing eventually they started to catch on to that. See, eventually either one of the girls or one of the guys caught on to that, and they started to realize, you know, look at this guy. He's letting all you idiots do the work because he's letting you get stuck on this girl, and you guys are being stupid enough to let him do that to you. And that's what happened. And once they realized that I was letting them get stuck on that girl, then they started demanding me to, pretty much, they started trying to throw me into the office. And I kept fighting it, like not literally fighting it, but I kept trying to reloop it to somebody, you know. All it takes is a male, you know. All you need is a male that wants to take it for you, and, you know, you're good. See, just like I said, see, males don't know this, but the females, you know this, right? And ladies, you guys know this. But just like there's easy girls, you guys know that there's easy guys, and they think they're players, but you girls know that they're just being stupid, and that's all I'm hinting at. And you guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. You know, it hit a certain point where, you know, pretty much what happened is that, you know, I was working second shift, and that girl was working second shift. You know, she got switched to second shift before me. You know, and, you know, then I got switched to second shift too. So then eventually what happened is that, you know, because of other shift changes, and they start noticing, you know, because I'm no longer there, then that I don't know what to consider, whether consider competition or that threat to them is no longer there. So then they start to realize the work that they have in their hands now. So then once the threat or the competition is no longer there, then they wake up and they see themselves that they gave themselves extra work that they didn't want to. So then they start looking for ways to try to throw it back out, because, you know, the whole purpose was of them being the ones to go into the office instead of me. And I was counting on that. And it's just funny because I was just laughing. And just like, I don't know, man. It just, so yeah, and that happened, and then, you know, eventually, I'm gonna say that one of the girls made the mistake of saying it by, like, a joke. Like, she said it joking around, and they took it seriously because she accidentally called it out, right? See? And once that happened, then I'm not saying it was her, because I don't know the situation on that, but, like, I'm just saying, you know. So that's what happened there. And the only reason they kept throwing me into the office for that is because they think I'm shy. See, they think I'm shy, and that, you know, they thought because they think I'm shy that I was gonna put pressure on me to quit, and it still didn't, because, like I said, that's not my case. You know, that's the way they see me, because, like I said, they don't take the time to either want to talk to me, or they don't want to, and that's okay. Or they just don't know how. And like I said, that's cool. You know, if you have good game and you're not interested, then that's cool. You know, keep it to yourself or take it somewhere else. And that's the way that happens. And so yeah, after a certain point, they started trying to pressure me. Not pressure me, but putting pressure to making sure that I went into the office to go do the job, which is take the paperwork to the girls and get it signed. But then they started being stupid with me, because then they started requesting me. They started requesting me to want to put pressure on the girls to do their work. And like I said, that's not what I'm about. I'm not gonna make girls. I'm not gonna make your job. I'm not gonna make your job hard, because Jim wants you to think that I'm a dick or an asshole like him, right? And I refused to, and I did, right? So they would try to get me. Like I said, this whole thing is my struggle to stay myself, or Michael Carmona struggle to stay Michael Carmona, and that's what this is about. Part of it. So that's what they do. You know how I was mentioning about earlier. I mentioned that girl Cavelli that was working there. Well, when she supposedly she left to another company, and I'm guessing she did, because I would see the invoices from the product that they were being shipped out by, they were being signed by her. So that's the way that I confirmed that. And like I said, once that girl left, then that's when the other girl showed up, the Jennifer girl. Well, she showed up a little, the times overlapped, but so yeah, that's the situation. And as it is for the Cavelli girl, I wasn't attracted to her. Like I said, she looks like she was attracted within. I don't want to be specific, because you guys didn't take offense to it, but it looked like there was an attractive girl in there. Okay, but that wasn't the situation like that. That's the best way that I could explain it. And even if she would be like that, like I said, they were my style. They were my type, and that's not that didn't happen. She tried to like tell me stuff, and it didn't go well, and all that, like I said, all that happens to me. Those are my works. Those are part of my work stories, and why I struggle to like, why I struggle with work and stuff. It's not because of that. It's not because of the. I don't want to say it. Just like, you guys know what I mean, right? It's funny. There was this girl that I mentioned too, and she would kind of talk to me, but I just took it as, she's just friendly, and if it's in another way, then that's not the way I mean it. And like I say, I have respect for people. I try to have respect for everybody. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though I know they don't deserve it. But I try to be the change. If everybody doesn't want to be the change, then I try to be that change, and it creates a complicated situation for me, because people are not used to that. People are not used to that concept. So a lot of people think it throws them off guard, or they get defensive about it, and they take the situation into something that it's not. And like the girl that I'm talking about, her name's Ivana. She was working there too, and she was really pretty too. She would work in the production line, and she had reason to talk to me, because like I was working on the forklift. Sometimes they need stuff, and sometimes like she would say hi, and I would say hi to her. But like I said, I'm not gonna further the conversation. I'm only gonna stick to what you if I could avoid it, I'm gonna avoid it. That's all I'm saying. So if you just say hi to me, that's all I'm gonna say to you. And that's the way it works. That's the way that. Yeah, that's it. I got that she was pretty. She was also a short girl, so that's already not gonna lead to anywhere, because for the reasons that I had talked about earlier. And besides, there's a lot of guys that they'll go for it, so it's not like they're gonna suffer over that. So yeah, I would kind of talk to her. Like I would try to talk to her a little bit. She would tell me that she was in a similar situation to mine, but I never got the hint that she liked me, like anything like that. I just thought like she was just a cool person, and I would try to talk to her cool too. And just the thing that, like I said, I'm not gonna talk to her in front of other people because I'm not trying to talk to the other people. If I'm trying to talk to that girl, I'm only trying to talk to that girl. I'm not trying to talk to that girl while other people are trying to get into the conversation, because the conversation doesn't include you. If the conversation included you, then I would be talking to you instead. And that's the thing. See, I'm not talking to the females that are listening to this. I'm talking overall, for the situation, the situation that occurred. So don't take it like that, anybody that's listening. So I'm talking about like the males. I'm not saying that in this specific, explanation, I'm not saying that's something that, well, I did say that that's something that occurred in other situations earlier on, but I'm saying the example that I'm saying right now, if I'm talking to a female, it's because I want to talk to that female. And anybody that wants to jump into the conversation, wait your turn. Wait your turn after I'm done talking to them, or try again later. And that's the thing that guys don't have respect for. Guys don't have respect for that, and all those are player haters because, like I said, it's not like I'm trying to do anything. I'm not trying to like take them out or anything, because like I said, I don't play that game because I don't pay for it. So yeah, so like I said, there was that girl, her name was Ivana, or is Ivana, and I thought she was good looking too. She's like not necessarily my type, but but like I said, for the reasons I said, and besides that, and after a little bit, this guy showed up right there that he made it seem like he was her boyfriend or whatever. So it's like, I don't need that. I already had enough of that. And that's all I'm saying. So then after that, I was just like, I wouldn't talk to her no more, because there's no need for it no more. So once that situation happens like that, I'm not going at her like that. So why am I gonna start something with that guy over that? The YouTube stuff is different because I'm using it as an opportunity to promote myself for my channel. So if you guys are thinking about that, right away I'm gonna put a stop to it. For the YouTube stuff, like I said, the YouTube stuff I take it serious, and the YouTube stuff is something different. So anybody that says, oh well, you just did this earlier recording that, you're kind of saying that if that's the case, then that applies. But I'm telling you, the YouTube stuff was different. The YouTube stuff was meant to be separate from everything else. So, the situation that happened was an attempt to block all of the stuff that was going to happen after, because everything that I was doing for YouTube was not meant for it to everything that everybody thinks that I was trying to get. See, anybody that follows me from Warhawk to Facebook, like I said, I don't friend people from Warhawk. I don't go looking for you to friend you. If you friended me under a false identity, then that's you. Any conversation that you hear here that are dedicated, that you think they're like towards you, they're not. Unless I specifically said that they are. They're not, because like I said, I'm talking about a personal time in my life. Or a time in my personal life that, that right now in the situation, that's all that is part of it. So, like I said, Facebook, the way that I play Facebook, I'm just befriending females, and I know there's a lot of trolls out there, and I know that I'm gonna befriend some males because they're using the accounts as females, but that's on them. If they want to do that, and well, that's their choice. I'm gonna talk negative about that because there's nothing to talk negative about it, and but like I said, I don't think anybody from work anybody from those places are gonna be hearing this because, like I said, nobody showed interest in in anything like that. I would try to talk about the YouTube stuff, and they wouldn't show interest, so I would just let it go. Just that would be the end of the conversation for that. So then, kind of like, where do you go from there? So so yeah, so that's why I'm simply saying this because, like I said, they want to grow. I thought she was pretty, and I would kind of try to talk to her, but I wasn't gonna go out of my way. And once that guy showed up, that was working there, that supposedly he made it. I don't know if he was, but he made it seem like it was her boyfriend or something like that. So I wouldn't talk to her no more because I'm not trying to. Like I said, I wasn't trying to play that game. So like I said, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. So like I say once again, the YouTube stuff is different because I'm using it as an opportunity. I'm using it as an opportunity to benefit, benefit myself right there, and at the same time, the other person, because no matter what, it's gonna benefit them too. And that's the difference between that. And so yeah, so then once that happened, I wouldn't like. Besides that, the guy would, like I said, people try to I don't know, they try to hit me up like that. Besides that, I would try to talk to the guy cold, but sometimes it looked like either kind of like he took offense to the situation, or people started saying that, oh, he tries to talk to your girl or whatever, and he didn't ever like anything, at least not while I was working there. But I'm just saying, that's the way it gets portrayed, and because that's the way it happens. And so yeah, so going back to the other, so in my situation is that, once they thought that was the situation, they kept trying to throw me into the office, and then they tried to use the girl as a way to pretty much to get me to stay overtime, and it backfired on them. It backfired on them on many occasions, because what they would do, since I'm trying to be respectful and proper, they would try to exploit that. So they would give the girl, they would put the girl to do the work for me, my paperwork. So then I would turn in my paperwork, and I would give her the paperwork, and they're supposed to take care of the paperwork, and I wouldn't get involved with it because, like I said, no matter what, me getting involved means spending time with them. And people don't understand this. Every time that you spend time with people, you're creating memories, and those memories stick with you forever. And all the people that you're kicking it with are gonna be there, and all the people that you're kicking it are gonna always be in your mind. And that's the thing that I'm trying to. That's one of the things that I'm getting at. The people that you work with are not necessarily the people that you want there, and that's the thing about trying to limit all that. That all those people are gonna create. All those people are gonna, like I said, everything creates bonds. Bonds are going on. Bonds are happening 24/7, nonstop. And that happens, and once those bonds, get reach their limit, then people restart new bonds, because that's when people break up, or relationships end, or jobs end. Everything, it applies to everything. So then new bonds need to start being created. And like I said, for the most part, I refuse those bonds because it's not something that I'm interested in. And that's the thing that makes it hard for me to get by. So then what they started doing is that they started using that girl, Jennifer, So I would turn in my work to her to do the paperwork, the invoices and all that. And so then I will calculate her time, how much it takes for that, and I will ask her, because I was being polite. I'll be like, hey, how much time do you need, so I could come back and sign for that and get it done. Because, like I said, even though, like, I'm not saying, I didn't say it to her, because but like I'm saying to the people listening to this, just because she's pretty, I'm not gonna stay there for her. And for any woman, for any girl, I'm not gonna stay somewhere, just because you're good looking or whatever. It takes more. It's gonna take more than that. And luckily, or some people might see it as unluckily, or maybe I just do a good job at it. But luckily, I've been able to pretty much to avoid as many situations like that as I can, because I try. Like, you guys don't get how hard I try to avoid all those situations. Like I said, I try really hard to not be known. I try really hard to not be known. I put a lot of work to not let people know me, and because I have no interest in it. I had no interest in it until now. I still don't have interest, but like I said, I feel like I'm being forced. I feel like I'm being forced into society, not by my choice. And this is the way that they're doing it. There's a way that they're forcing me back into the, that system, and that sucks, because that's not the way it has to be. So yeah, so then the girl, she told me she had a kid too, a son. I tried making conversation with that, but like I said, I know about the bonds, and how the power that I could create, and some people exploit that, but I try not to, and I really don't, because eventually those people that exploit that, like I said, like I mentioned earlier on, eventually eventually that game has repercussions, and over time, you're gonna find out what they are if you play that game like that. And I'm saying this not by myself, not by my own experience, but take my word for it. I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so then the girl started like, she's trying to keep her job, because like I said, these tactics, they don't just use them on certain individuals. They use them on, like I said, she's a pretty girl. The manager, Jim. He's an ugly guy. He's already an older guy, and he's already whatever. And so those are the tactics they're gonna try. They're gonna try. They do the tactic where they drown you and they save you. They drown you and save you. They screw you over so they could save you. So then you're thankful, and that's what they do. See, and that's what they're trying to do to me. They started doing that because anybody knows that when you get suspended, that's already the beginning of the end. Because that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to drown you to save you, and every time that you're thankful, they'll do it again. And once they do it once, they'll do it every once in a while if they feel like they have to, just to keep you in control. And all that is gonna fuck up your personal life, because if you were stupid enough to get into the overtime, and you started doing all kinds of purchases, and you're gonna be when the overtime is not there, then you're gonna be effed, because that's what happens. And like I said, they do it to everybody because, for their own, for their own reasons, for their own agendas, for their own personal agendas. And they will do it to her too, they will move her around. They will move her around the time, but I know why they were doing it too, because like I said, she had told me that she had somebody, she had a boyfriend, and she had a kid with them. And the same thing, the managers, they try to, like I said, they try to mess up her personal life. They try to switch her around, knowing that her husband or her boyfriend might not be okay with it, because some of it doesn't make sense. Depending on what kind of work you've done. If you've only worked in basic employment, you're not gonna understand any of this, because basic employment is different from employment, and some people might not understand what I mean by that, but others are gonna be like, yeah, we know what you're talking about. So I try to be respectful because all those other guys, they're making her life hard. Whether it's because they want to be part of it, it doesn't matter. But no matter what, they don't understand. They make her life hard. I'm using her as an example. Jennifer, I apologize if I make any trouble for you, but that's not what I was trying to do. Okay. What they do is that they make her life hard because no matter what, it's gonna cause issues for her in her personal life because, like I said, she has a boyfriend even though she's not married to him. No matter what, it's her partner that she's choosing to be with. Whether, like I said, I didn't know anything about her like too much because I would keep it like quick. And see, no matter what, it's gonna cause issues with her personal life because, like I said, that's the intention of those kind of tactics. That's what they're trying to do. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna take a quick break right now. I'll come back right now. Alright, so like in that place there's a lot of females. Like the females outnumber the males in that place. So right away, to me, that's trouble. And to me, for most males, they take it as, that's a good thing, and I understand why, and that's cool. You benefit off of that. Props to you, dude. That's your game, and that's cool, and you're down for it. That's your choice. But that's not me. And so yeah, like the females outnumber the males right there, and to myself, that's trouble, right? To me, that's trouble in that work environment because, eventually, like I said, some people are gonna get double play or multiple times, and I don't mean it at one time. I mean like from different people, and no matter what I'm saying, most people think that they could play. Most people think that they could play the player game, but most people cannot. They think they can, but they can't. Most people think they can, but they can't. Like I said, all the people that are playing the hit it and quit it, but keep hitting it, you're not playing it right because that's all it takes to prove that you're not a player. Okay, see, that's all it takes that you're not a player because of that. So anybody, males and females, for this earlier I was being specific, but right now I'm using it as an example of the truth of that, right? And the same thing goes for the rest of the males and the females. I'm using work as an example. If you guys like at work, like I said, that girl had a boyfriend, and she made it known because when they tell you that, for me, when they tell you that, it's because they're telling you that they're not interested. But I don't know, maybe I'm thinking the wrong way. But to me, when a girl tells me that she has a boyfriend, she's telling me that she's not interested. But I think a lot of guys think the opposite. I think I'm probably the only one that thinks like that. I'm not sure. But to me, when someone tells you that they have someone, it's telling you, hey, they're not interested, and just being nice to you, And that's the way that I see it. So the way that my logic on that is like, it's like, the managers are, they know she has somebody, and if they don't care because they just want to do it, then there's no need for them to cause trouble in her life because they can make it happen. They can make it happen within the hours of work, and they can make it happen since they're gonna be players. They can handle the game, and they should be able to hit it and quit it and not have any issues with them after, because that's the way that it's supposed to be if you're playing that game. So that's what I'm trying to hint at for that for the work environment. And that, a lot of people think that they're players, that they're that type of player, and like it's not like that to people. Because other than that, if it's nothing like that, then they wouldn't care who's getting it because it doesn't mean anything to them. I don't know, that logic behind that is like I get it, but I'm just talking it to you to kind of like to start a conversation with you, and you the listener, whoever you may be, and some of it might be Nathan, my son, is in these conversations. Some of these conversations I have with you, not like that, but certain conversations, I have with you like that about what stuff is, and because I always try to be honest with you, because there's a big disadvantage, to the other way. So yeah, that has to do with my work situation. So then yeah, like going back to what I was talking about, working in an environment where that is like that, it makes it harder for me to get by without anybody trying to pretty much to sidetrack me, or whatever. Like I'm not saying like I'm not saying it the way that it is sounding, and the reason why I'm saying this because like like I say, there should be no reason why anybody from True Fresh HVP should be listening to this, because you guys show no interest in my situation. And by my situation, I mean in me. So there should be no reason why any of you should be hearing this. So if you are hearing this, then that doesn't make any sense. That's all I'm going to say on that. Okay, so yeah, to me that's a disadvantage, because because it's gonna create issues. Because that's what happens, and eventually they take it the wrong way. Eventually they take it the wrong way, or they try to portray it like it's being taken the wrong way to get you to react, or to get me to react. Because eventually what they start saying is that I'm not being responsive to them, to the requests, because because they're being over demanding in an appropriate way that it doesn't have to be like, I'm not saying like sexually, but I'm just saying in an appropriate way that, to my understanding, I know that it doesn't evolve. It's not necessary, but no matter what, it creates issues for me. Okay, so going back, I'm gonna jump back to the conversation that is still part of it, but I'm gonna jump back to, to what led to me not working at True Fresh HPP. Okay, so all that was kind of like the setup, kind of like setting up your, setting up the scenario for the end. All right. So pretty much what they started doing once they seen that that's what they thought was the situation. They thought that I was just a shy guy that, whatever, in their mind, they probably thought that I was a virgin. Okay, that's the way I'm being serious, because of the way that I portray, or the way that I am. They probably say, "Oh, this guy." I'm gonna say it like that. I'm gonna say it the way that they thought it, right? They thought, "Oh, this fucker's a virgin," and he's over there like kind of like overload on that, and he doesn't know how to like. But that wasn't the case. That's all I'm saying. Right. And so yeah, that's part of the situation. So then what they did, going back to the purpose of the conversation, which is, I had mentioned earlier that they had put me to work in the morning. So then all that led to the earlier conversation. Once they put me to do that guy Armando's, responsibilities at work, and then I had to get involved with that. I had to be working more close with the females, and they thought that was going to cause an issue for me, But like I said, I have no issue. I have no issue with that. You know, I could, you know, I could handle the females. It's just, you know, I'm not gonna go out of my way to. I'm not gonna go out of my way to approach. And if they don't approach me, then I benefit off of that. If you don't know, if you're a female, and you don't know how to approach me, and I'm just trying to get my work done, I'm not gonna approach you. I'm just gonna ignore you, and I'm just gonna get by and get out. And that's the way that I do things. And see, and that's part of the reason why I struggle at work, because then that starts creating, that starts creating. I know that starts creating a negative atmosphere for them, but just because that's the way they're taking it like I'm being rude, but I'm not. I'm actually being polite. But maybe like I said, maybe since they're so used to, you know, guys being the way that they are with them, that, you know, someone not being with them like that, they see it as they're being rude. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I haven't misunderstood. Okay. So yeah. So and they moved me to the morning shift again to do that, to work, you know, to work the production line, help the production line, you know, with the forklift and stuff, you know, thinking that I was gonna crumble under the pressure of, you know, being around the females. But like I said, my situation is not that I'm a shy guy. See, I'm not a shy guy. People think that I'm a shy guy. You know, there's a difference between the person being shy and the person just being quiet, that doesn't want to participate in, you know, the nonsense, you know. And I don't mean like nonsense, you know, because there's certain nonsense that's cool and fun, but I mean, that's work nonsense. And no matter what, you're still at work, and no matter what, you're still there because you need to make money, not because you want to. And you know, everything else is just a distraction. And you know, that's the way that I see it. So once they put me to work in that shift, thinking that I was gonna crumble under the pressure, but like I said, the work was easy. The work was easy. If anything, what happens is I would make it hard for the production line, because they were trying to put the demand high for me. Man, they don't realize this, you know. They didn't realize this when they were doing it to me. Every time that they speeded up production to try to like bombard me with the work, they would screw themselves over, because they would finish the work faster, and I would still complete the work. See? And then that would translate to the next day, you know. And then the next day it was slow, because they got distracted with, you know, with the Christ concept, you know, because of the common hatred towards, you know, it's not necessarily hatred, but the common person, me being that person at that moment, they unite to try to see if they could tear me down or make me crumble. So then what they do is that in the process of that, you know, because they're bombarding me with all the work that they don't know that I can handle, then they speed themselves up. So as fast as they rush me, I'm gonna rush them twice as fast, because, you know, I don't want to sound conceited, but you know, so that's what happened, you know. And so then the workers started complaining, because, you know, they have cars, they gotta pay, you know, they gotta make the car payments and everything else on top of that. So, you know, so then that started bothering them off. They're like, oh, you know, fucking this guy, you know, Michael, you know, he doesn't care because he doesn't have a car to pay, you know, but everybody else does. And that's the thing where it's funny, you know, they want to see it unfair when it's on their side, but they don't want to see it unfair when it's on my side, you know. And that's the thing, you know. So then once they do that, then they hit a point when they get stuck, you know, because of themselves. So that situation. So then they gotta make a choice, you know. They gotta figure out how to work around it. So then what they chose to say is they chose to say that I wasn't completing the work, you know. They chose to say that I wasn't completing the work. So that this is logic, and I'm gonna explain to you why they do that, okay? Because they're stupid, you know. Because they think I'm stupid, they're stupid, all right? I don't think they're stupid. See, I didn't never think they were stupid. See. Like I said, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though I know they don't deserve it. You know, I always try to be there and change. And so yeah, so then what they started doing, they started saying that I wasn't completing the work. because what they wanted me to get mad. They wanted me to get mad and bothered, and to be like, all right, I'm gonna lag it now as a protest. But that's stupid, because in the process of me lagging it, once the 8 hours are done, my work is not gonna reflect the ratio that it requires. So then, that's where they're not thinking logically, and they're not seeing that if I do that, then that's just stupid. So I'm not. See. So what happens is that them thinking that I was gonna motivate me to slow down. It didn't. I just went faster. I went faster to the point where they can't keep up no more, and that started making them mad. Because they were working against me, so I started working against them, and me working against them means me giving them more work, because I know I could do the work. They don't know that, but I know I could do the work. And the thing that happens is that they get mad because now they're doing more work for less pay, and that's the thing. You see, that's the thing. That's the catch to that. Then now that they're not working at the pace that they work, because they're over there trying to screw me over. In the process of that, they screw themselves over, because now they're overworked, they're tired, and they're not making the pay that they need. And that's the downside to that. That's the downside to that kind of thing that they did. So then everybody started getting mad. So then everybody started complaining. They started complaining, and right away they tried. Since I was one of the remainder company people that was working there, that had just gotten hired, the newest people, then they chose to put it on me. They chose to put it that it was because of me. So then that's where the issue started. That's where the issue started. Where while I mentioned that wholesale manager started saying that I was leaving a mess when I wasn't. Because they were trying. The production line would try to slow down towards the end of my shift, so that I had a reason to stay, and I wouldn't care. 8 hours, my work is done. Whether they slow down or not, that's their problem. Because that's the way that they want to, because they want to make overtime to pay their card. That's their choice. You make that choice. I respect your choice. I want to not have a card, to not have to be working extra hours. You respect mine, but they don't do it. See, they don't do that. See, that's the thing that I'm trying to explain on that. So eventually they made the issue into the situation. So the next day, that day that I got suspended, they took me off of the lift. They took me off of the forklift, because they knew that there was no way they were gonna stop me like that no more. So what they did is they grounded me. They grounded me at work, and no matter what, I still kept going. I still kept doing my job, and that's the day that I told you that I'm telling you guys that I left on time. I left on time because I'm not gonna put up with that bullshit. And that's what happened. I left on time. They got upset. The next day they try to make something out of it. And they chose to write me up. They chose to write me up, but in the record they probably just erased it, because since I didn't sign for it, then they could just throw away the paper, and then there's no proof of it. So and that's how they could avoid that. But it could be proven by the cameras. It could be proven by the cameras, because it shows that Jose and Jim, and me, Michael, we go upstairs on that day, and that conversation wouldn't make any logic in any other situation. That conversation taking place before I'm not working there doesn't make any sense. And that's that's where I'm putting it for anybody that does any camera reviews on this situation. That's how you could track that down. That's the moment all this is happening. So that's the situation. So then on the day after that I got suspended, that I went back, I already knew what they were gonna do. They were gonna give me one of the worst stuff that you do in that environment, which is you put them in freezer work. See? You put them in freezer work, and you leave them all day. Like that's what they did. Most of the time they had me. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm Jack Frost, because they would throw me to work in the freezer like all day. Because they wanted me to get frustrated. Because anybody, if you ever worked in the freezer, it's like, if you're not prepared for it, it's not easy. That's all I'm saying. It's not easy working in a freezer environment. See, so then that day on Friday, I'm like, oh, they're just gonna put me in freezer work, and they're gonna start being stupid with me. And if it's true that they don't have any cameras there, then that's just they're already causing. Like I said, they cause a hostile in a safe location, in a safe work environment that I can't do my work no more. They broke the trust. I can't sign paperwork for them no more because they're trying to make me sign a false warning, and all that is part of it. But like I said, the warning and the write-up, since I didn't sign for it, all you gotta do is throw it away. And that's the thing that I'm trying to point out. So anybody that's hearing this story and they're thinking, oh, this is you should have signed the warning, that way you could prove it. That doesn't make a difference, because it can be proven no matter what. See, that's the mentality that they do to try to circle your. That's the mentality that they do to try to circle your thinking into the trap, And that's the thing that I'm trying to explain. So for all that reason is the reason why I stopped working at Whole Foods, and why they refused. That's the reason why they refused. At Whole Foods, they refused my benefits because I was working too fast and I was giving out too much input, like output, like work output, right? And they wanted me to slow down and do overtime, and I refused because I don't want to be there. I don't want to be at work. Who wants to be at work? At True Fresh HPP, same reason. Originally it was because they had a spot that they didn't have, but over the evolution of the problem that they couldn't get rid of me, pretty much, they took it to that. And I had already been through that situation before, so I already know that no matter what, because that's what they did to me at Whole Foods. At Whole Foods, the last time that I was there, they kept taking me into conference meetings to pretty much just to frustrate me and make time, because after the conference meeting, they wanted me to still output the same product, and that's not gonna happen like that, because now they're trying to manipulate the time, and that's not the way that's gonna work. So see, I worked in this other place. It was a bakery. The bakery is called Allied Sales. Allied Sales and Distribution. That one's in Vernon too. I think that one's down 52nd Street. 52? Or 52nd Street. 52nd. My bad. Yeah, I think it's 52nd Street. And it's in Vernon. It's probably like 3 or maybe like 5 blocks away from. It's like 4 blocks away from the Whole Foods that I was working at. I had the same issue right there. It was refrigeration. Everything was good until they seen that. Pretty much until they seen that I had the whole. See, once they realized that I have the whole setup figured out, that's when they start the issues with me, because I guess I don't know if it bothers them. Or what, but that's when they start the issues with me at work. So at Allied Sales too, at Allied Sales I only worked there for a couple of months, also just a couple of months, because right there the issue was about the same thing, it was about the management, I do that once I work in a company for a certain amount of time, I'm not gonna specify the time, then I start doing the research, and so the same thing, I was outputting the work within the 8 hours. Within the 8 hours I was taking off, and they start having the same issue with me. They're like, hey, you gotta stay overtime. And my reasoning is, why do I gotta stay overtime if I supply the work that the other guys are not supplying on time? And it's hard for them to answer that without just telling you that just because you have to. Because you don't have to. Because after the 8 hours, legally you're not obligated to anything, right? See, and even before that, legally you're not obligated to anything. The only reason why the game is supposed to be work proper is to claim unemployment in the case of a situation where you're unemployed. But like I said, I've only gotten the unemployment. I've only gotten it once. Other than that, they always refuse it because they make the situation hostile to the point where, for my safety, I can't be there no more. And that's the tactic that they use on people, and they probably use it on you too. They probably used it on you before, and you didn't ever realize it. But I'm talking about it now, so maybe now you understand it. And so yeah, they refuse because of that. They refuse my unemployment. See? Because they put it down as work abandonment, and that doesn't get unemployment. See? So yeah, for right now, I think that's. I think for right now, I think that's it for right now. If anything, if I do another audio, it might be till later in the night. So yeah, that's just part of the situation. So yeah, all right. I'll talk to you guys later, or I'll continue this later if there's more to talk about. And that's it for right now. The time's 11:38 a.m. It's still Thursday, March 28th.